Hey guys, I had this idea for a story or an animation or whatever that I was wanting to do, and it had to do with this alien being that enjoyed being in human form, coming down to Earth and meeting this little boy, and them traveling through time, blah blah blah. And of course, this alien's name was going to be Victor, and he would come down in this ball of light, and he would expand into like a spaceship. And the little boy, he meets the little boy, and the little boy comes aboard, and he shows the little boy a crystal ball, and they look through that crystal ball, and they pick out different time and space, and they travel to those to basically save the world or do something. There's certain things that that they have to do or whatever. And of course, in the story, this Victor character, he when he is human form, he enjoys dressing up in these really cool, colorful, artistic suits and things like that. And I was just going to kind of come up with all kinds of different unique ideas for this or whatever, but I just never really got around to really letting the idea take hold. But it did get me to thinking about the idea of the crystal ball time traveler thing, and I come up with this idea for kind of like a nightlight disco ball like thing. And of course, that's nothing new. I mean, there's disco balls everywhere and all that. But what would be unique about this is, number one, the ball separates from the stand. And the stand has a USB male prong on it, and you just set the ball on top of it. It plugs into the ball, and there's a little screen inside this ball, and and on the stand, you've got different areas like a USB slot, SD cards, micro SD cards, things like that to plug your different devices in. And when you do that, you pick out an image or a movie or even music or whatever that you want to play in this crystal ball or disco ball, whatever the heck you want to call it. And you pick that out, it shows up on the screen, and then it projects all through the whole room, almost like a hologram. I mean, it's like a big, huge, it goes throughout the whole room. And you can make it, there's other buttons that allow you to either keep it stationary, or you can make it move around and maybe do different things, kind of like a disco like thing, movement or whatever. So you can kind of play around with the image display as it goes around your room. And it's mostly like a blue light. Although it can, you can change the color or whatever, but it's by default it's kind of set to like a blue light or whatever. And it's good for like at night, like if you want to sleep and you want something to kind of help you lull you to sleep or whatever. Also, it could just be good just for fun, just to watch it play. And of course it will be set. I mean, the idea was, if the story had ever, I guess, been created or whatever, the ball could come with default settings that have to do with the story. Maybe some of the places that the boy and the alien Victor travel to or whatever, different things like that, and maybe even some, footage of the boy and the alien talking or interacting or whatever could be, displayed on it. But you can add your own, as well. You can plug in your USB stick or your SD cards or whatever into it, and it will, display it throughout your room. And in my opinion, this would be like the perfect device. Like I said, if you're having trouble sleeping, or you just enjoy sitting and watching, these images float around in your room. And you could play different music and things like that. So, like if you want a Hawaiian sound, ocean breeze, crickets, whatever, rock and roll, whatever you want to have going on, you can do that with this ball. Even though I know it's nothing new, there's like I said, there's disco balls out there everywhere. There's probably other types of display devices or whatever, but I haven't really seen any, like this, especially anything that came with a story or whatever, to where kids could do that. And I just thought it would be kind of neat. Of course, you'd have to be careful if you separate the ball from the stand, you don't want someone throwing the ball or anything like that, because it could damage it, because it has a display screen inside of it, and that could be dangerous or whatever. But I mean, it just comes apart just kind of as a neat little thing, for you to look at, and then, set it back on the stand. So, but I just wanted to share that idea, even though it will probably never happen or whatever. But I do hope by me sharing, maybe someone will see this and kind of get an idea or whatever, and may make something similar to it. I think it'd be kind of neat and nice for like a little toy or a little nightlight or whatever for people to enjoy.